Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And Brie Larson should smile more.
Yeah.
That's what the internet was saying, and now Marvel Comics is standing up for Captain Marvel. Both Captain Marvel and female Thor.
Right, because, both the ones the internet didn't like. So now we have to show the internet that, we're in charge here.
The trolls, we're going to smack those trolls down with comic books they're probably not going to read.
Yeah, the trolls that are all the men that, even though a lot of the people that were women didn't like stuff either. But, hey.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. Both Captain Marvel and female Thor being defended. I think it's the same writer on both, too.
Well, what about the outtake in Captain Marvel where she beat the shit out of a guy because he said about smile, and that has, and which would be not good, and is not okay, and they don't mention that.
No, they don't mention that, because this is Marvel Comics standing up to the trolls and the man babies, defending
I'm a
Captain. Well, you're a man baby too.
Yeah, I guess.
You're a man baby.
I saw these clips and it's just dumb. I'm sorry,
yeah,
but it is.
We're gonna talk about this. So before we get into it, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We're at 90-some thousand subs, hoping for 100,000 soon, and your support is greatly appreciated.
Yep, thank you.
And Captain Marvel, yeah, I'm kind of tired of talking about Captain Marvel. We haven't talked about it in a while because there's no news of the sequel, and now people are having a fit because now they want Monica Rambeau to be Captain Marvel.
I know, and everybody else mentioned that before, that it should have been Monica Rambeau before, and now it's like, oh, did you know that they could do Captain Marvel with more diversity? It's like, no shit.
No shit. When I was a kid, Monica Rambeau was in charge of the Avengers. That shows how old I am, but also shows how long ago we did this whole thing with, like, oh my god, did you know you could have a black woman leading a superhero team?
Diversity just wasn't invented 5 years ago, like they keep claiming?
Yeah, Monica Rambeau's Captain Marvel and Storm were both leaders of their teams on the most successful Marvel books at the time. So we're talking the mid-'80s. We had a black female leader on the Avengers and the X-Men.
Yeah, so we had a person of color and a woman.
Yeah.
Two! More than one! But nope. It's only been invented since Brie Larson invented it. And people on Twitter, Tumblr.
But one thing that Monica Rambeau had over the screen version of Brie Larson's Captain Marvel is she did like to smile more.
Yeah.
She was a happier Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel's not happy.
She has a stick up her rear.
This Captain Marvel's only happy when she's putting men's faces where they belong.
Apparently.
So Captain Marvel calls out her movie trolls in the comics. Captain Marvel faced a wave of sexist trolls telling her to smile more, but she got the last laugh. Now she gets it in the comics too. This has come from Screen Rant. I've got a version from Bleeding Fool. Bleeding Fool, we'll talk about that too, because it's not just Captain Marvel, it's Jane Foster's
Right, because everybody was saying
Thor.
They didn't want her, a female Thor. I thought that was kind of ridiculous. And, it's in the comics, but like people were worried it was going to be Thor about Jane Foster, not Thor about, Chris Hemsworth Thor.
God, this is just insane. Captain Marvel helped to put Thanos in his place in Endgame.
So did a lot of characters.
She got flicked off like a flea.
So did male and female characters. Just pointing that out there.
Tony beat Thanos. Anyway, proving herself to be one of the MCU's heavy hitters. Now she's giving a piece of her mind and fist to the misogyny, the sexism, and the online trolls that tried to spoil her MCU debut. She's just doing it in the Avengers comics.
Okay, wait a minute. First of all, I'm a woman. I have no misogyny or sexism towards her. I was not an online troll. I just thought the movie was and it wasn't that good. But you want to talking about online trolls that are pushing misogyny and sexism. How about the fact, again, that when the movie came out last year, Alita was out, and we had two strong female characters, one film much more diverse than the other, and it was a win for women in general and for diversity in general. And instead of being excited about it, they turned around and made it about how Alita was sexist and all this other crap. It had nothing. It wasn't. Just to try to promote Captain Marvel. So when you're going around shouting about trolls and misogyny and sexism, you guys behaved in the exact same way in regards. I'm not saying this person in particular, but like the media in general, to Alita. And it was a win for women, but that wasn't the takeaway. Of course, you couldn't just have win-win. It had to be one was problematic so that Captain Marvel was elevated.
God.
One was a much better movie than the other.
Yeah.
Can you guess which?
Yeah, I know, right? It's safe to say that anyone who was paying attention to Captain Marvel's pre-Endgame release noticed that many of the controversies, air quotes, created came from Brie Larson's demand for a more inclusive press tour, twisted into attacks on white men, and online trolls review bombing Captain Marvel before it was released.
Okay, back to that. Yeah, I will say that the press tour that they took this from wasn't even the press tour for Captain Marvel. It had happened months prior. Those comments are made. She's basically alienating a big hunk of the audience on this. Now, compare it to Gal Gadot's press tours and commentary, and you'll see a huge difference in how you handle fans.
Yeah, she was actually very, I think, neutral. She stuck to the movie. She didn't really go on about her personal politics.
Well,
too much.
Brie Larson is using it as a way to make her personal platform. However, she was truly for diversity and inclusion. She would have made sure that the character was cast as a black woman. I'm just saying.
That is true. Physician, heal thyself.
Exactly.
While the best in last laugh went to Captain Marvel's box office, we
were laughing about that, but not for the same reasons.
Yeah, a woman like Carol Danvers never forgets, and in the pages of Marvel's Avengers comic books that nobody reads, she's playing her fists on the chin of every troll who tried to hold her down.
It's ridiculously stupid. It really is. I'm a woman, and I find it cringy and dumb.
And we're going to talk about Thor here, too, but this is actually coming from Bleeding Fool, a parody of Bleeding Cool, by the way. Marvel writer Jason Aaron, Trolls fans he disagrees with again. So apparently he's been doing this.
So a male writer is going to write female characters and put words into their mouth to troll fans about female issues.
I think that's about right.
So he's going to mansplain me on female issues.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Screen Rant discovered but didn't criticize writer Jason Aaron's insult to the fans he performed when he was writing Jane Foster's Thor. We'll talk about that. Here, taking the words of overrated actress Brie Larson for promoting her mediocre Captain Marvel movie and putting a variation on them into the pages of his Avengers. So she's getting her butt kicked by, let me see here. Firelord. It's Firelord.
Okay.
Yep.
They said earlier.
And then here we go. Sure thing. Why don't you tell me to smile more while you're at it, Firelord? Actually, that wouldn't be such a bad guy.
Yeah, now, no bad guy as he's kicking your ass is going to be like, well, yes, that's not a bad idea. You should smile more. They're not. That's just not even. Come on.
So.
Don't insult people's intelligence like this.
Couple of things I will point out. One, clearly that was a jab. Yeah, whatever, right? Did anybody else notice that they literally have the exact same expression on their face?
That's the exact same face.
The exact same face. Both Carol Danvers and Firelord have the exact same face, exact same expression on their face, and she's supposed to be punching him.
She looks like she's punching through the panel.
Well, yeah.
I know, I get it.
I'm just saying, it's kind of weird. Like, there's there's as much emotion in the Captain Marvel comics as there was in the movie.
Well, that's a real, reason to buy it, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's not just Captain Marvel, though.
See, this one really irritates me a lot more as a woman. This one I find, this obviously was written by a man. It had to have been. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is so it comes across like this is what a man thinks women want.
Exactly. It's what a man thinks that how women would talk about when being female, because there's the word feminism in there. Well, most normal women, day-to-day women, don't go around screaming feminism everywhere. I'm just saying, it just doesn't happen.
The key word being normal.
Yeah, exactly.
even like normal feminist women.
All I keep thinking of when I see the dialogue here is those people you see having meltdowns on the internet, like because they get triggered. And like the triggered meme, that's what this reminds me of. The triggered memes.
So this is the same writer. Again, playing the same card. This was I guess a couple months ago, a year ago.
Why did they just hire a female writer?
That's a good question.
I mean, if they really wanted diversity, they wanted to get some, things in there with how these strong female characters would really be and how they'd feel. Wouldn't it make more sense to hire a female writer to portray them?
It would, but don't use logic. We can't do that.
I'm just pointing that out. So, yeah, go ahead.
Thor, are you kidding me? I'm supposed to call you Thor? Damn feminists are ruining everything.
That's what the bad guy's going to say when they're fighting.
You want to be a chick superhero? Fine. Who the hell cares? But get your own identity. Thor's a dude. One of the last manly dudes left.
No guy is going to scream that when they're fighting.
What'd you do? Send him to sensitivity training so he'd stop calling Earth girls wenches?
It doesn't even read in a natural way. It's just stupid. No guy's going to say this. No one's fighting. And it's all those things. You know what? Here's the funny thing, dude, is the fact that as a woman, I have brought all this up. Why can't we have our own superheroes? Why do they have to be just gender bent or race bent versions, or sexual orientated bent versions of the characters that already exist? I'm sorry. I also thought it was kind of dumb that Thor's supposed to be special and all this stuff, and then Jane Foster, because she sleeps with him or dates him, she suddenly is Thor too, and and then sensitivity training. Really, this is like the Gillette commercial. Of course, that was also done by a woman, by the way.
Yeah, there's more. I mean, I guess now, to be fair, some people did say that the Jane Foster Thor run wasn't terrible.
Right, but they're undoing it with this comic.
Yeah, this is, yeah.
That wasn't this version, right?
No,
that's what I thought.
These are tweets. Every one of these word blobs is a tweet. Like, I could just see the tweet thread going down.
You can see the guy writing. I'm gonna show this guy. I'm edgy. You're gonna tell women this. Well, F you, asshat. I'm gonna write this in here. I'm gonna show you. Mom, I'll be up in 10 minutes. I'm sorry.
And here it continues. Somebody, let's see, who was this? This was Based Geek. Based Geek put this up. Thou wishest to touch the hammer, be my guest. What's gotten into this crazy thing? This ain't how it's supposed to work. What the hell kind of Thor are you? The kind who just broke your jaw. That's for saying feminist like it's a 4-letter word, you creep.
I say feminist like it's a 4-letter word just because there's a difference between true feminism and feminists that are about equality and then the ones that are on Twitter.
I did not say that. You said that.
It's the truth. I've gotten more shit out of women than I've ever gotten out of men about feminism.
And also, for the robbing. What's going on out here? Well, just Jane Foster beating up this.
I mean, there's nothing saying she can't beat him up, but the dialogue's just dumb.
I want to point out, and look, I'm not.
Kick a bad guy ass for sure, but.
Kick a bad guy ass?
I'm saying, but they have to make it, well, I'm a woman kicking his ass. Well, if you're just a hero, does it matter?
Yeah. Why do we call special attention to that? Like, this is, I don't remember Wonder Woman ever being like, by the power
she probably did. It depends who wrote it.
Well, now, she went back, like when I was a kid, I don't remember her
No, when I was a kid, it wasn't this stupid. Women just kicked ass because they're women and they didn't sit there and say, because I've got boobs, because you said feminism like it's a 4-letter word, or feminist, or whatever the hell it is. It's just, it's like, come on, you say misogynist, like it's a 4-letter word all the time too, because,
It's just, these are tweets. This is like, these comics are written by Twitter. I just want to point out, too, like, and I don't like throwing shade at artists, and I'm not trying to throw shade at artists, right? But these don't look like Marvel comics anymore.
See, I don't think they're that bad, personally.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying Marvel always had kind of a house style. Like, I don't know how to put my finger on it, but lately I've noticed the comics look more like something you would see from, like, Boom or IDW.
But hasn't had a house style in a while.
Yeah, I guess it's been about 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But it just seems like the art is like all over the place. Now, I mean, you could tell artists apart, but like everything had kind of that Marvel look to it. I think DC still has like kind of the DC look, where you've got different artists, but it still looks like it all belongs pretty much to the same universe. But Marvel, that's why guys like Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld back in the day stood out so much, because their stuff was so different. But what I'm saying is a lot of the art now looks kind of like, this could be in a Boom comic or an IDW comic and not a Marvel comic.
I don't know. I just don't think it was so terrible.
No, I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm just saying it doesn't look Marvel-ish. But I'm old, and I remember Marvel when Marvel was different.
When it was good. I'm sorry.
Different comic. This actually looks more Marvel, but the fact that the faces are just like...
that one does look more Marvel, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the point is, the dialogue is, written by a dude to portray women. I just don't understand, and as a woman, why you couldn't have a woman write the dialogue to portray a woman. But then again, they have these comic books, they have women writers come in, and then they get too far, and then they just ruin it. Why can't we just, speak like we would speak? I mean, you're not gonna... the dialogue doesn't even seem realistic, I mean, I know it's a fantasy thing, but you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't even fit. It's just dumb.
This is why you need to be writing Captain Marvel.
I wouldn't want to write these comics. I just wouldn't.
No.
I want to make my own stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't want the pressure anymore. And honestly, it feels like this is all part of the whole end of days for these comic publishers. Like, they just don't care anymore.
It's just going to be canceled again anyway. I don't know what the point is.
Well, that's it. They can get all their digs in with characters like Captain Marvel and Squirrel Girl, because they know they're just going to cancel the book in 8 months.
Right. So, I mean, they're just going to get canceled.
So
I mean, let's be honest.
matter,
They're going to get canceled anyway. I mean, as a woman, I would never buy this shit. I just wouldn't. I'm tired. I get so much crap. Like, you don't understand on Twitter. Even before we started doing the show, even before we ever said anything, I've gotten so much crap over the years because I'm a woman and I'm not a feminist. I'm not feminist enough because I'm married and have kids. And apparently, the only way you could be feminist is if you don't like men, you're not married, and you don't have kids. Or if you're married to a woman, then it's okay.
This is a true story. This is several years ago. This is like 5 or 6
we've already
years
brought it up, but you can mention it again.
Well, we have a bunch more subscribers now, but Geeky was actually interviewed by a website.
There was a site out there, and they were doing a thing about women in comics. And of course, the general idea that they were going for was women are always kept out in comics. And here's the thing. You could honestly argue that for Marvel and DC. I mean, that was the truth. You could argue that women were kind of kept out of those too. But there were a lot of the smaller publishers and then the big book publishers, like the graphic novel publishers, that was not the case. And even for Marvel and DC, they had women that were editors and people in charge of the company in the past. And the questions were very pointed and loaded. And I was the only one that was among them that actually had actual comic experience, was actually, printed and actually had done real stuff. And I was the one that didn't use my quotes from, because I basically pointed out the fact that I don't think that's always the case. Because if you look at people like Rana Telgemeier, you look at people, that were in charge in the past, that, there's definitely, it's a little harder for some places, but that's not always the case. Well, that wasn't good enough. They wanted to hear how women are always kept out, no matter what the reason was, no matter what the examples they were given. So all the other people will run, but they wouldn't run mine because mine was not, didn't fit the narrative.
Yeah, which is kind of weird because, you were actually published. I think at the time we had an agent, and
I know we didn't have I was before the agent.
Oh, was that before the agent? Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was just very weird because you were pointing out that like some of the most powerful people in comics worldwide were women, mm-hmm. and they didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear
it. Their narrative was women are always kept out no matter what it is, and I'm like, but that's not true. And here are examples, but that's not what they wanted to hear. So, and I was the only one that actually had real cred, and I was the one that wasn't put in the article.
Yeah, so go figure. But you know what? Got the last laugh. We're almost 100,000 subs.
That's right, woo!
So, are we gonna wrap this one up?
Yep.
You need to smile more.
I'm smiling on the inside.
She's smiling on the outside now, so.
Yeah, but not in a nice way.
That's right. That is I'm gonna get my ass whooped smile. All right, so we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.